Yo, what's happening, guys? How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone's having a good Monday. I mean, if you look at the charts, it's not looking too great. So we're gonna go over everything today, guys, because I do want to speak about what I think is gonna happen within this week. Remember, Mondays normally a bit of a fake move Monday. It's always been a thing with crypto. What tends to happen on a Monday, we normally see like a bit of a reverse of what's gonna happen on throughout the week. Okay. So obviously we're dumping today. Do I think it's over for crypto right now? I don't. So we're going to go over some key levels for the week. But I am looking at potentially taking some shorts today. So we're going to speak about some scalp shorts potentially today. But I'm also going to speak about key levels that we can look for these spot opportunities as well, right? Because I do think that a lot of coins have reset here. I mean, if you just look at the crypto bubbles, you can see that this is the weekly, guys. A lot of coins are down 20% on the week. And that's actually mainly due to today. If you just look at the redness on all my coins on the right here, things are down 7 to 8 to 9% today. And this was all this morning during agent session, okay? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens during this week. We are going to obviously take some trades this week within the Legends community. So we're going to speak about what trades we're going to go through. And yeah, I hope everyone's having a good day. I am feeling a lot better as well. So yeah, let's get straight into it. What's happening, BitHash? What's happening, Jarek? Yeah, let's get straight into it, guys. All right, if you guys do have any coins that you want to go over, put them in the comments. We'll go over pretty much every altcoin there is within today, because we know we have to see what we can do this week. I mean, there's going to be a lot of coins that we potentially can look at, all right? So let's go straight into it. First of all, I just want to speak about Ethereum, and then we'll go over some alts. But yeah, the problem is ETH, guys. ETH. If you look at the weekly time frame, yeah, let's have a look. We couldn't close above that all-time high, right? We couldn't even make it past there. Okay, so let me just remove some of the drawings here. But essentially, guys, Ethereum couldn't take out this high over here at 4,800, which was that previous all-time high, right? And right now we're getting rejected quite hard for Ethereum. There is a possibility of us coming more down, even to around about 3,900. Very, very high possibility of that happening, just based on the weekly time frame. Have a look at that, right? Because we have not yet tested this level, right? We had multiple. Let me show you guys something here. So basically, this zone is a very, very strong level, right? Whenever price taps this level, we get a huge reaction, right? Either to the upside or to the downside, right? Multiple times we did get a reaction from this level, right? So right now, this is going to be held as support. So there is a high probability that we could easily come down to like 3,900 potentially, guys. I think Ethereum's in a really not a good place right now in terms of looking at the weekly, but I mean it's still bullish, right? This is still bullish price action on the weekly time frame, guys. So don't whenever I say like we're looking for sells today, it means like in terms of scalping, right? So in terms of scalp trading, we can potentially look for sells back down to 3,900, but this would be the key level to look for longs, right? This would be the level to reset and potentially play a long back up to the highs. So Ethereum right now on the weekly time frame does look like we can potentially come down here. Could you check out AR for potential? Of course, we'll go over AR, we'll go over Aave and Link. What's happening at Aditya? So that's what I'm looking at as well. So on the weekly time frame, I do think that Ethereum, it looks like it wants to come down. Then we go down to the daily time frame, and then the 4 hour, because I want to show you this key level here. And the problem is, guys, I did mention this this morning, right? I woke up so early this morning. I don't know what is happening. I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. But I was saying, okay, there's a possibility here for Ethereum, right? Ethereum could potentially retest this $4,330 level, right? And then we could potentially play the trend line breakout, right? But the problem is Ethereum Ethereum lost that level, right? So the next key level is going to be the support over here at around about 4,150. Okay, so this level, guys, has to hold in order for Ethereum to potentially get that bounce. I chose the wrong thing there, my bad. So Ethereum has to hold this level here, 4,158. This would be a key level to look for along. But I'll be honest with you guys, I do think that Ethereum can potentially just reset all the way back down over here, and then you could play the long over here. So we're going to have to be super careful today, because I do think that we're going to get a bit of a move. Asian session had quite a big volume a spike. As you can see, this candle did close below our level. So this candle did close below the key level 4,332. Like I said, I was looking for longs off this level, but the problem is we closed below and we've already retested this level on the next 4-hour candle. So there's a high probability that we're probably just going to take out this level over here. If somehow we can flip this level bullish, then okay, cool, we look for longs, okay? But until then, we can't really do anything right now for ETH. Like I can't really take a sell here either, because it's kind of stuck in the mid-range. And there is a possibility that we could come up here. There's a possibility that we could come down. So the play right now for Ethereum is to potentially see if we can get a bounce from this support zone. Okay. If we don't, then we can potentially look for longs a little bit later, like 3,900. Okay. So Ethereum right now is not looking too great for longs. So what I would suggest, guys, is just be patient. Wait for the setup to come to you. I'm going to be super patient, but because we can potentially take a long off this level here. But if we do lose this level, then there is a possibility that we can play the long from this retest on the weekly time frame. Right? It makes more sense. It makes more sense to play the long at the 3,900 level. But we'll see if we can potentially get like a scalp, even like a scalp long for Ethereum today. Back up to like this high, and then we could even potentially play the shorts back down to the lows, right? Because the structure right now is looking a little bit weak. So something like this could happen where we could potentially play the long off this reaction. We play the short back down to here, and then we play the long back up to these levels. I mean, that could be the play for the week. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at for Ethereum right now. It's all about just being patient and waiting for these levels to obviously get reacted. Okay. All right, so that is Ethereum. Let's have a look at AR. We'll go over all the tokens that you guys put in the chat. So make sure you guys do put some coins there. We're going to go over pretty much everything today. We're going to go over Bitcoin as well, because I want to speak about Bitcoin levels after we go over some altcoins. Yeah, but let's have a look and see. Let's have a look and see what's happening here for AR. I mean, I haven't looked at AR since like $16. Let's have a look on the weekly time frame here. Let me just remove everything. Right, so if we remove everything, we have a clean, fresh chart over here. AR is still looking relatively weak here, I'll be honest with you. So this is obviously the key level for AR. Right over here, let me draw it in. So this level right over here, okay? You can see multiple times we've had reactions within the zone, okay? If we go down on the daily and the lower time frames, we'll obviously see this reaction. But I want to see if we can potentially come down, reset these lows, maybe take out this low over here, and then potentially look to take out these highs, okay? Because if you just look at AR right now, it's currently just ranging between two key levels, okay? So essentially, it's just ranging between a bit of a box, right? So it's ranging between this level over here, 8.71 or 8.65, and then also this level right over here, 6.3437. Okay, so on the weekly time frame, what you want to look for here is, okay, I mean on the daily time frame, what you want to look for is it's pretty simple, right? You can see that it's just going sideways, right? It's just going sideways right now, right? So the clear setup right now for AR would be to potentially play like a double bottom from these lows, and then look to obviously come back up to these levels over here, right? But the problem is right now, the markets, you can even see there's a bit of a trend line here. We could even play a sell. Okay, so let me just actually look at this quickly. We could even potentially play a sell here back down to these lows. Because the problem is with AR, as you can see, we can't even take out the highs. So this structure is showing us that there's it's a bit bearish right now, right? Because price could not close above these highs. We tried to multiple times, but and you can see with that massive sharp rejection candle over here, it just doesn't want to do anything. Okay, it doesn't want to take out those levels, right? So we'll go down to the 4-hour time frame. We'll have a look over here. You can see on the 4-hour time frame, it's the same thing, right? The same exact thing. We're obviously looking quite bearish here. Making lower highs continuously. If we lose this level today, then we can potentially look for a sell. But the problem is, this level right over here is a little bit too close to this trend line. So, like I said, I'll preferably play the bounce, then potentially take sells here. So, What I want to see here is potentially, we do take out this trend line, but this could just be a fake out, and then we look for a double bottom, and then we play the long all the way back up to here. Okay, so 6.37 is going to be like a key level for AR, for potentially looking at a pump. Okay, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But it'll be interesting to see if we can get a bounce here at 6.37. We'll see. Okay. Alright, Casper. Oh no, Aave, Link, ADA. Okay, I'll quickly go over Bitcoin quickly, and then we'll jump into the other altcoins. Okay, so if you guys remember from this morning, like I said, for Bitcoin, let me just close this. Like I said, I got up so early. It was like 3:30 in the morning. But I was saying Bitcoin's looking weak here. There is a bullish fair value gap between 116, right? Between 116 and 115. Okay, so as you can see, Bitcoin needs to hold this level in order for price to continue high. If we lose this level, we may see a push back down to 112. Okay, so like I was saying within this morning, that's exactly what's happening right now. We're still holding this level here for Bitcoin, right? It's a bullish fair value gap. There is a potential that Bitcoin can hold this level here, right? Why is it a bullish fair value gap? Well, basically, you have this imbalance from this candle high to this low over here. And what tends to happen when you get an imbalance? Orders get left behind, and there is a potential for Bitcoin to bounce from this level, right? But to be honest with you, this massive red candle here is showing a lot of weakness within Bitcoin right now. Okay, so and what I don't like as well is obviously we can't even take out these highs. We're just making lower highs upon lower highs here. So Bitcoin has a potential to come down lower today, guys. And I'm sorry to say, but it could potentially come down to like 112, right? But there is a potential that Bitcoin can bounce here, right? If we go to like the lower, like the 15-minute time frame, there is this order block potentially that Bitcoin, potentially can hold, right? What I'll look at, let me just draw a nice this level here so we can see it. We'll make it a different color so it makes more sense. Let's do red. Okay, so basically, Bitcoin right now has reset. We've tapped the bullish fair value gap, and the thing is, we are still holding this gap, right? We are still holding this level, the support level, whatever you want to call it. But in order for us to continue higher, I need to see price obviously take out this level, right? Because this is the level that Bitcoin needs to get back above, right? It's also this bullish fair value gap, right? So we need to see price, start closing back above this level, right? And that also on the 15-minute will correlate with this level over here. So it makes sense for us to wait for price to obviously take out this level first before we consider going long here. Okay, so the level that we're looking at for the day for Bitcoin is going to be right over here, 116.078, right? If we can close above this level on the 15-minute time frame, I would be looking at potentially longing in Bitcoin back up to like these highs over here, right over here. Okay, so this would be something to look at, 118k for Bitcoin. But the problem is right now we would have to wait for it to hold, right? So price needs to close above here, and then we look for the long. I wouldn't take the long right now because there's still a high probability that Bitcoin can come lower, right? So it doesn't make sense to take the long right now, right? Remember, look at the chart as like a neutral thing, right? Look, don't get like too emotional. Obviously, everyone wants to be bullish, but the problem is it's not really showing that right now, right? The only bullish scenario for Bitcoin today is we are still holding this bullish fair value gap, but in order for bullish price continuation, we still need price to close above 116 on these time frames. Okay, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I do think that it will be a bit of a dump day. Mondays tend to you can really see on the 4-hour time frame. On the daily time frame that it hasn't been a great day for crypto already. So this was all Asian session. So we will hopefully want to see a bit of a bounce, but like I said, just trade what the chart says. Don't trade based on like what you want to happen. Sorry about that. What you want to happen. So anyway, so that's Bitcoin. Okay. What other charts we got going here? We've got Aave, we've got Link, ADA, Casper, ENA, Link. ADA, okay, yeah. So let's go over ADA quickly first because I'm actually quite bullish on ADA. It's one of the more bullish coins that I'm actually looking at right now. So let's have a look. Let's have a look here. So, all right. So also what I was saying for ADA this morning, it's the same thing, right? So ADA looks really strong on the weekly, right? We closed bullish above these levels, okay? First of all, right? So on the weekly time frame, we closed bullish above this massive bull flag, because if you look at the daily time frame, it will make more sense. But this is a huge bull flag, guys, and the target is around about 1.94, okay? So there is quite a big price movement that we can potentially make a lot of money on ADA here. I'll be honest with you. 116% move to the upside is coming very, very close, right? And obviously right now on the daily time frame doesn't look good, but on the weekly time frame it looks beautiful, right? So I still think that we're going to get a reset here for Cardano, right? I still think that we're going to come down, retest this level, because if you look at the past, right, price has been holding this level multiple times. So price was obviously holding this as support. Then what happened? We flipped into resistance. Same thing, flipped into resistance. Remember? And now we finally got that close above that level. So in order for price to continue higher, we need what needs to happen? Well, we need liquidity to be taken. We need lows to be taken. We need support to be held. We need a bunch of things in order to confirm that this is going to go higher. But in order for price to go higher, you need to take liquidity, right? You need to potentially get some orders. You need more orders in order for price to push higher, right? So if we look at the lower time frames, it just makes sense for a bit of a reset here for Cardano, right? There is this as well, potentially getting a close here, a bit of a triangle pattern here. But essentially, guys, if we do hold this, if we do get a push back down to like 0.85, I'm definitely going to go long here. Regardless of what any other chart is doing, I think Cardano is definitely going to be the play this week. It's going to be the one coin. So last week it was a pump that we did really, really well on. But I think Cardano is going to be the coin that we're going to do really well on this week, right? So you don't want to be missing this trade, guys. I'll be honest with you. This is going to be a super, super juicy trade. Because the nice thing about Cardano is we have a lot of upside targets. And this will be more of a swing trade because we'll be taking this based on the weekly time frame. Okay, so you can see how you obviously want your time frames to correlate, but because we're taking this on the weekly time frame, it's going to have to play out over a couple of weeks, right? Whereas if we take a trade based on the 15 or the 5 minutes, it will potentially play out within an hour or so, right? So I think Cardano is looking super juicy today. Potentially this week. Okay, so don't sleep on this one, guys. I think Cardano is a big one, and yeah, we will be taking this in the Legends chat as well, guys. So I'm on the wrong thing here. So basically, guys, if you guys want to join this, there is a link in the description. You have to sign up with our obviously the exchange links. But essentially, guys, last week we had a beautiful trade on pump. Pumped like 300%, which is crazy, and then TIA also pumped. But we did end up getting stopped out at break even due to the PPR data. But yeah, hopefully this week is going to be an insane week as well. So make sure you guys do join before we take these setups, because I think Cardano is going to get the reset today. I think because looking at this, it looks like today is going to be the bleed day, and then tomorrow we could potentially play the bounce, right? So just be cautious, guys. I wouldn't jump into any longs right now. I think it's a little bit risky. I think we come down a little bit lower. So just be careful and just wait for levels to be hit. I think the problem with a lot of people is they just get like super impatient, right? And I think the whole thing right now is just to wait, right? Cardano is looking good, but is it at our level yet? No, right? So we just wait for that level to get hit, and then we take the trade. I'm not going to take the trade now. Why would I take the trade now if I know that price potentially can come lower? I would never do that. And then if price were to go higher, well, then we could just play this, right? We have options, right? We either have price coming down here, or we can play the breakout over here, right? Of course, our entry would be worse, but we'll have a high conviction trade because our stop loss would be like below here, right? So there's always opportunities within opportunities, right? So the opportunity one would be to play the long off this level based on the weekly time frame, like we discussed, right? And then there would be also another long position if we play the breakout over here, if we do get that, right? So there's multiple setups within one setup, if that makes sense. All right, so that's Cardano. We're definitely gonna be able to put some alerts here, and then we'll be able to take a trade there. Okay. Hello, sir. Can we look at Rune? Of course. I did enter ADA at 0.6264. 0.6264. I mean, what is that entry? That is insane. 0.626. So you got an over here. You literally got an, yeah, I mean, you chilling. You're so chilling because, I don't think we come below here. I literally don't think that's possible. I think Cardano resets over here. We play the long to these highs, and then you should be taking some profits at like 1.17. But yeah, this is the level that we have to go for a long, guys. Regardless of what the market's doing, I'm gonna go long here for Cardano this week. I don't really care about any other token. This is the game plan since last week. So I don't switch up on the game plan, guys. So I'll take this trade regardless of what's happening in the market. All right, let's have a look at. We just went over AR. We did just go over AR. What are your targets for ADA? Yeah, so the target one, I've got two targets, right? So the target one would be 1.17. Okay, so 1.17, which is just that previous high over here. But the problem, not the problem, sorry. The thing is, we have such a high target here. So this bull flag, if this plays out, right, we're looking at a big move to around about 1.94, which is why I'm going to be targeting 1.94. Okay, I do think that it's possible we get there, guys. I think it's possible we get there. I honestly do think it's possible we get there. So we're definitely going to play this long today or tomorrow, depending if we get the setup today. Or, it just depends if we get that reset. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Okay. Let's have a look at Chainlink, and then we'll go over Casper, ENA, and Pump. Okay, we'll go over Chainlink first, though. How much do you put? 1.25? No, it's 1.17 and then 1.94 on my targets. Yeah. How much do you put in each trade average? I mean, I do 1 to 2% of my account. Yeah. I do 1 to 2% of my account, depending. Like this setup here for Cardano, I'll probably do like 2% because I've got a high conviction. I do think that this is going to play out super, super well, just based on like pure price action. Okay, well, let's have a look at Chainlink quickly though. Chainlink, I did have it up. Chainlink, let's have a look here. I've got two charts with Chainlink. I'm not too sure which one I was doing my analysis on, but Chainlink looks, oh my god, so Chainlink's pumped super hard throughout yesterday. That's crazy. Okay, so Chainlink did exactly what we were thinking, right? So we wanted to play the short to here, and then potentially play the long on the breakout here. But Chainlink has kind of topped out here, guys. It's tapped this liquidity level over here at 26.36. Obviously, this breakout was insane, right? This breakout was insane. So the problem is right now, Chainlink's at a huge resistance, right? We haven't been at these levels since January 2025. So at the beginning of this year, we haven't touched these levels. So the probability of us just like breaking through straight away is not likely, right? Remember, when it's a key level, what tends to happen, we tend to test that level multiple times and then we break out. Not always we're going to just break through the level unless there's like mad volatility, or there's like news, or there's something positive within the crypto space. But when we tend to tap these levels, we don't really get a breakthrough straight away, especially if it's a daily or weekly level, right? This is a huge excuse me, this is a huge daily level. Okay, so yeah, let's see what happens here on Chainlink. But I'll look at some potential longs here. I want to go down to the lower time frames to see what the plan is here. So let's have a look at like the 15 minutes, because obviously the 4 hours is telling us the same thing here. I would love to see a bit of a reset here for Chainlink, right? I would love to see this level potentially hold as support. We do have multiple reactions within this zone, okay? So this was obviously a bit of a fake out, this move over here, but this level here is definitely going to be my key level for Chainlink, okay? Around about $24, okay? We have multiple reactions within this zone. You can see when price taps this level, we get a dump to the downside, a dump to the downside, a dump to the downside, okay? So the obvious play here for Chainlink is if we reset at these levels, well then we could potentially play along off the zone, right? Although it's already reset here already, is there potential for us to come lower? And that's the question we have to answer. Or is there potential for us to come back and retest this level? There is a potential, right? But the alternate scenario would be, we're gonna have to go in the 5 minutes here, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, the only long that we can play besides looking for like a double bottom is playing the long off the break of this zone, off on the 5 minute time frame, right? Which would be kind of cool, right? So I would love to take a long off this level here at 25.42 if we can get like a 5 minute close above this level. Take profit is at 26.36, stop loss at like 25.02. You know, risk to reward of 1:2. But the problem is, you know, you have to get the closure above there, right? So price has to close above here, and then we get the long, right? The alternate scenario would be, okay, we could potentially come down, form a double bottom, play the move to the upside, right? So what I mean by that is, so when we get like a double bottom or like a high low off a support zone, and we break like a previous high over here, right? So something like this. So something like this where, let's say price came down, bang, we create a low, okay? We come up, we create like a higher low or equal low, right? We could even take out this low with like a wick, but we have to make sure that we are closing bullish. Sorry, we're closing candles respecting the wick or the candle close, right? And then what I'd wait for is, okay, we'd have to wait for price to break this high, and then we would enter on the retracement of this level here for that potential push higher. So that's going to be the game plan for Chainlink. Looking at like $24 for a potential push here. Alternatively, we play the long if we take out 25.45. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. We're gonna have to put some alerts here, though. I'll be honest with you. Let's put an alert here. Bang. We'll put an alert over here as well to the upside. So that's Chainlink. I think it's a good setup, but it's important just to be patient here. Important to just be patient here. Let's have a look at Casper. Casper. I haven't looked at Casper in a minute. It's been quite a minute, I'll be honest with you. So let's have a look. We'll use Mexi. I think Mexi normally gets listed tokens normally get listed first on Mexi. So it just means that it'll have more data to analyze, right? So I mean, that's looking quite weak here. So first things first is we're obviously getting rejected from this level here. Okay, so this is the key level here for Casper, right? So the only bullish scenario for Casper is 0.0945. Like we have to get back above there. Yeah, because this is the problem right now for Casper is, you know, obviously we are at support. Let's have a look here. I mean, I would love to see this low get taken out again. I think that a lot of alts going to reset today, guys. Just looking at these charts, it's not looking good. I'll be honest with you. It's not looking good for altcoins. Casper can dump super hard here, 0.08148. I mean, that could be the move. That is the next key level, because this level here is obviously not really holding right now. But if it does hold, we can potentially look for like a bounce, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I do think that we come down here, guys. I do think that we potentially bounce from the zone. This would be the bounce zone. Okay. We have multiple reactions within the zone. We have an order block sitting there. We have support sitting here. We have liquidity sitting below these levels. We can even look over here. What is that, Casper? We can't even look and see. We'll do Mexi because that's what we're charting on. We're going to have to go a little bit on, let's do like the 1 week. We'll do 1 week, yeah. 1 second. My screen has somehow frozen, but we are good. Alright, so it looks like we took this liquidity already, but I mean, just looking at this chart, look, can you guys see how we broke these lows? We broke this previous low over here as well. There should be liquidity a little bit lower here. We might have to go down to a bigger time frame. 1 second. What level are we looking at? We're looking at 0.81, okay. It doesn't even have it here. We're gonna have to go on a higher time frame now. Let's do like the 1 month. Sorry about this. It's just because the level is a little bit too far, but I want to see if there's liquidity sitting there. Yeah, right over here. There's not that much, but as you can see, that is the level, right? Because the thing is, right now we've already taken out this liquidity already. So this yellow bit over here has already been taken out, right? Over 1.6 million. It's not even that much, but it's already been taken out. So I do think that there's a possibility that we just come down here, guys. I mean, the market's not looking good here. So Casper, the only thing we can do is just be patient and wait for 0.81448, guys. Okay. All right. What else are we looking at? We're looking at ENA. We did link. We'll do ENA. Let's do ENA. Just want to quickly put an alert here for that. All right. Let's have a look at ENA. What's the plan of action for ENA? Yeah. Let's have a look. Here. I don't know why my screen keeps freezing, but anyway. So let's have a look at this. So I mean, ENA has just been bullish, right? We bought ENA back in the legends. I mean, long ago, guys. If I search this, I think I was. Let's have a look here. I think I posted it within the, because we switched to Discord. Yeah, so it was long ago, but yeah, I was looking at ENA down here. I remember speaking about this long ago when we were all posting stuff in the Discord. But anyway, ENA is pumped super hard, looking super good on the weekly time frame. Right now obviously coming down, but ENA definitely one of those tokens. It's forming a huge like W pattern, right? So this is something to note, right? Like a W pattern like this. This is something that we can potentially look at, right? Obviously it would have to break out first, but this type of pattern is super bullish, and this is on the weekly time frame. So just remember, like when we are like trading on like higher time frames, or we're looking at higher time frames, it means that it's not gonna, like if I'm looking for a retest of a level and I'm looking on the weekly time frame, this could take like a whole week to even retest these levels, right? But it's important for you to understand that scalping within looking at higher time frames is the way to do it, right? Because obviously, like if you look at ENA, we are still bullish, right? So we still want to try potentially play along, right? Because the market is still holding this key level over here, right? This is obviously your key level that we have been respecting multiple times, okay? So we have a key level sitting over here. We see that this is a key level. We see how price reacts off this level multiple times since July, 2024, since last year, right? So there is a potential that we do reset here and retest that level as well, okay? And that's on the weekly time frame. On the daily time frame, you can see that we also have this trend line over here that is potentially needs to hold, okay? So in order for ENA to still be bullish here, we also have this as well. We have a bullish fair value gap sitting right over here as well. So this is something to note, right? I'll tell you guys something that I like to do in order for me to look for like confirmations, right? So you can see how this is also previous resistance, right? We have previous resistance over here, okay? So basically right now, ENA is at a deciding factor, right? Do we bounce from this bullish fair value gap? Do we bounce from the trend line? And do we bounce from this previous resistance? So there's three kind of floating ideas, but they're all pretty much the same thing, right? They're all doing the exact same thing. But it's nice to see that we have three confluences potentially for this bounce, okay? But if we were to take out this trend line, then this whole bounce setup is going to be invalidated, right? And then we can play the sell towards this level, okay? We could play the sell on the retest of this level, back down to here, a nice 25% move, and then we can play the long off this level back up to this bullish fair value gap and potentially a little bit higher, right? So ENA is looking relatively weak right now, but let's just say it's looking like a good opportunity, okay? Because what I would look at here for ENA is we take this trend line out, cool. We look for sells, or we hold this trend line, but we have to close respecting this this bullish fair value gap, and we have to close respecting this previous resistance, right? Otherwise, I'm just not really interested in taking longs, right? Because we do know that the market is resetting to the downside, just based on like crypto bubbles and based on like market structure that we've been seeing and the analysis that we've done. But in order for price to continue going higher, I would love to see price hold this level here, hold the trend line, hold this previous resistance, and then potentially close bullish here above this bullish fair value gap. Okay, so ENA is looking quite juicy. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm gonna put an alert here as well, just so we know what's cutting. All right, perfect. All right. All right. So that's ENA. We've gone over ADA, we've gone over Casper, we've gone over pump. Yeah, so I mean, pump, we caught the pump long last week. Pity that it didn't really, it hit most of our levels, but we did end up going break even. So what I was looking at here, so obviously we got that bullish close above that previous level. We took the long, and I was looking for price to continue higher, at least like this level here. But as you can see, this bearish fair value gap, obviously a little bit too strong for the market. And yeah, we ended up closing most of our trade at break even, but it was a beautiful trade, guys. We made over like 300% on this token, right? It was a beautiful setup for pump. So yeah, I mean, if this hit full TP, it would have been like over 1,200%. But I mean, it doesn't even really matter. Like it's all about position size anyway. Yeah. But yeah, for pump right now, I mean, it's just looking super weak. There's nothing really I can say here. You know, we obviously retesting this level. Bang, right over there. Retesting this level. We lost the trend line. Yeah, there's just nothing really you can do here. We do obviously have to hold this level here. I would love to see price hold this level here. If we lose that level, then, you know, there's liquidity sitting a little bit lower. Right over here, there's also liquidity sitting at these lows. But yeah, we should hold this level here for pump. If we don't, then potentially we can play a sell back down to these zones. But yeah, I just don't. The problem with pump and trading pump, I did realize like it's super low liquidity. So you know, when you take the trade, and let's just say using like quite a lot of margin or like high leverage, your orders won't really get filled properly as well. So the liquidity on this token is a little bit weak, but it is okay. I'll let you know if we do obviously take the trade for pump, but that will be I don't think we will today. All right, what else we got? Zora. So yeah, so guys, Zora, bit of a pity. I didn't have my laptop on the weekend, which is why I didn't post the setup, but it kind of did play out. So if you guys remember what we were speaking about Zora last week, yeah. So we're saying, okay, Zora, there's a potential, right? We're saying, okay, Zora, there's a potential that we look for longs off this retest of this level, right? So still waiting for Zora. Alternatively, we can play the break of trend. So that's the same thing that happened, right? If you look at the 1 hour time frame, you know, it came down perfectly, hit our zone, and then you could have if you missed this level, yeah, if you missed that, you could even just played this break of trend, and you would have made a big amount of money off this trade, right? That's a 13 to 15% move. So I did miss this. This was throughout the weekend. This was, when was this, right? This was Sunday. This was yesterday, actually. So Zora, a bit of a pity that we did miss this one. But there's an alternative here where, okay, Zora is still looking bullish, right? And the nice thing about Zora is we have confirmation that, let me just remove this. We have confirmation that we did break this high, which I love, right? That is something that I like to look at, especially when we're holding support, right? So you can see over here, price broke the high. Well, we didn't break this high over here, but that's okay. We broke this high over here, and we are still holding this level as support. So there is a potential that we can play the long here as well, because we know that bullish structure is obviously intact, and we broke this trend line as well. So this whole little dump over here just could be a reset for a move higher, right? So I'm not really looking for sells in terms of like for lower prices, but I want to see if we can potentially get some bounce plays, right? So on the 1 hour time frame, let's have a look. 4 hour time frame. So what I would like to see here is this, okay? I would want to see for Zora, I would want to see price obviously holding this level that we're holding now, which is good, but there's also massive resistance to the left over here, and this bearish gap right over there. So you can see that this is definitely going to be the key level. Yeah, I'm not going to take a long for Zora, unless obviously if you guys did get long over here, then you're okay. But I would want to see price close above this level here. Let me just grab the tool. So I would want to see price close above this level here, then we play the long all the way back up to here. Okay. This is on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so I would want to play the long on the 1 hour time frame, and that's it. I'm not going to look at the 15-minute close. I want to look for the 1 hour close. Okay, so the level that I'm looking at is 0.10348. If we get a candle to close above this level on the 1 hour time frame, then we can play the long. Okay, so until then, bit of a patience, a bit of a waiting game. Okay, yeah, bit of a waiting game. Good day. Can you check out AR? We did go over AR in the beginning, so just rewind. We did go over AR, but I can show you the levels quickly. So basically, AR is kind of just in a range on the daily time frame. So what I want to see over here, let me just remove all the brushes. Basically, what we want to see is we want to see price break this trend line. We want to see price reset to 6.34, and then potentially get a bounce of that level back up to 8.65. Okay, so that is what I would want to see for AR. But yeah, we did go over a little bit more in depth in the beginning. So if you want to see that, just rewind a bit. What do we got? So we got SWE, and then we got XRP, and then ICP and AVAX. Perfect. If we can get to 20 likes on the stream, that would be amazing as well, guys. We're on 16 now, so if we can get to 20, that would be awesome. All right, but let's have a look at the tokens that you guys are suggesting here. So we've got SWE for now, and then ICP. SWE. What's happening with SWE? Yeah, so SWE couldn't close above that level that we were speaking about last week. Let me just remove some of the stuff. Just so we can get a bit more clear. Whoops. So it looks like SWE still wants to come down to our buy zone here, which I'm not sad about. I'll be honest with you. I don't think we would get it, but this is the ultimate level here for SWE. Okay, so 3.14. I mean, this daily candle right now is looking absolutely terrible. I mean, it's looking so strong. So I think SWE can reset here, guys. I think SWE has a lot more downside. I mean, just looking at this chart right now, we just broke this low. We literally just broke this low on the 4 hour time frame. This is not good. We broke support over here, massive support, multiple rejections off this level. Hey guys, have you seen this? Multiple rejections off this level. So this is not a good thing for SWE. So I do think that if you're looking at this chart right now, I think we do come down lower here. To this level, there is a possibility that we can potentially come up here and then we can play the shorts as well. So this is something that I'm very interested in, because I mean, just looking at this price action, this is definitely bearish. There's nothing really bullish about this price action over here on the lower time frames. But I'd be interested on taking a short here and then playing the long off this level as well. That's gonna be interesting. But these movements are crazy though. Like this range over here is massive, eh? It's literally 30% this range. So we could potentially look for the sell. I would want to see a retest though, but I would love to see a retest of this level. We look for sells, then maybe play the longs a little bit later on. I don't think we'll get it, but you never know. This is why we do analysis on like a lot of tokens, and then we just put alerts, right? Because the nice thing about putting alerts on the tokens is you don't have to stare at the charts the whole day, and you know you don't have to also, because the more you stare at something, or the more, like, just think about it, right? Like, think about anything in life. The more you like stay in something for like a long period of time, the more like possibility of a risk, right? So it's the same thing with like trading, right? The longer you're in a trade, the higher possibility of you actually losing the trade, right? And that's why I only do scalp trading, because swing trading for me, especially in a market like this, when it's just chaos, right? You know, we're pumping one week, we're dumping the next week. What's the point of holding trades for so long? I just don't see the point, right? You have a spot portfolio for you to hold the trades, you know, hold your bags. You can even go a bit of leverage. You can do a 2x or 3x leverage on these spot positions. But for futures trading, I don't see the point of holding a trade for a long period of time, especially in this type of market, right? Because we're trading every day, so there's no point for me, at least. So, and that's the thing. Like, if you're holding longs from last week, you're gonna get absolutely rinsed, right? Because, you know, things can happen on the weekend. You know, something PPI happened, and then there was a massive dump, right? And now the whole structure of the chart is kind of bearish, right? So just, yeah, I love taking profits. I do love taking profits. Yeah, so that is my whole thing with trading. I'm only really a scalp trader. The last time I've done a swing trade has been that was XRP, but it's very situational, guys, very situational. But this is why, like, even in the easy setups, I'll literally just guide you. I'll be like, I'm taking 20% here, stop loss, keep it where it is, and then I was like, it broke the highs. Let's move stop loss to here. And then take 20% more, move stop loss to entry price, TP1 officially hit, and that's when we got out. Because the thing is, like, looking super bullish, right? This was looking so bullish, and then what actually happens, it comes all the way back down and hits break even, right? So anything can happen with trading. Like, so always take profits, guys, regardless of if you think it's going to pump or not, or you think it's going to dump or not. I mean, ICP is not looking good, yeah. But ICP... it's been annoying, I'll be honest with you. I've been buying ICP for the last couple of weeks, but I just can't get out of this range. It's just so stuck. There's nothing really to look at here, but it's just kind of stuck between a range. I do think that we come down here and reset here to 5.1. It's just that there's just nothing really we can do here. It's just stuck in a bit of a mid-range. I do think that spot buys are valid. You know, if we do come all the way back down here, that would be crazy. There is a potential, though. I mean, if the market wants to reset hard, there is a potential that ICP can potentially come down and like take out these lows again, which would be crazy. But you never know what happens in crypto, so anything can happen. So don't count that out, right? The thing that I'm looking at here is we do have like a trend line right over here, and it looks like we just lost it. It looks like we just lost it. Let's have a look at the lower time frames. Yeah, I mean, this is looking terrible. Jesus. All right. I mean, so we are holding support. We are holding support, which is something. We are holding this level. If we lose this level over here, then I'm inclined to take a sell here. I'll be honest with you, because you know, on the 4-hour time frame, we did lose this trend line. We kind of did retest this level. The 1-hour time frame. The only thing right now, you have to obviously. You can't take the sell right now, just based on the trend line, because we do have support, guys. We do have horizontal support. Horizontal supports are a lot stronger than diagonal trend lines, guys. So, you know, holding this level here is going to be super important. So there is a possibility that this could be a fake out, and we start, like, you know, closing bullish and potentially look for a long off this level. Okay, so ICP potentially can bounce from the zone, but if it loses this level, then yeah, we cooked, and then we can play the sell. Yeah, that would be interesting. AVAX, let's have a look at AVAX. Yeah, we're gonna go over Bitcoin dominance, because that's super important right now. But let's have a look at AVAX quickly. Thanks, guys. We're on 26 likes. Awesome. I appreciate you guys for liking the stream. That's amazing. I only asked for 20, but we got 26, so that's beautiful. All right, so I mean, AVAX. Like I said, AVAX is still one of my. I don't know what happened to all my levels though. Is this the wrong chart? Wait, 1 second. Just give it 1 second, yeah, because I think I'm choosing the wrong chart. Yeah, I had all these levels on my chart. Weird. Oh, that's very annoying. But anyway, so the first thing with AVAX is basically, I'll have to draw it in again, but this was that level, right? So basically, we had that breakout, price came back down, retested, and I was saying that $21 to $22 was the buy zone, right? But it's looking like, I mean, I'll be completely honest with you guys, this is not looking good. This is not looking good. Like, we've just broken this trend line over here, literally right now. I think AVAX resets here, and the thing is right now for AVAX as well. Let me just remove all of this. We can't break the highs. We're making lower highs here. We're making equal highs as well. You know, like, this is not good. We broke below this trend line over here. That price has been holding up for the last, literally since the beginning of August, right? So for the last 18 days, we've been holding this level, right? And now that we've broken below with quite a lot of selling pressure here, there's a high probability that we just reset back down to 21 here, which is going to be super interesting. But yeah, I can't look for a long here for AVAX, but I do think that there's a potential we can look for sells here. So let's have a look at the lower time frames, like the 1 hour. 1 hour time frame is showing us that we are currently at horizontal support. It's a bit choppy though. Let's have a look at the 15. Yeah, so the 15, we're gonna have to go to the 5 minute, I'll be honest with you. So the 5 minute time frame, what we can look for here is, we could be a little bit aggressive over here with AVAX. The reason why I'm on the 5 minute here is because this is something that we have to do, right? Because on the higher time frames, there is a potential of that reset, but if we want to be looking for the scalps, we're going to have to go for the 5 minute time frame. And the nice thing is that we have this key level over here that is also our support level. We have a bearish fair value gap. We do have these levels also here that is literally looking like it wants to hold as well. So essentially what needs to happen right now for AVAX is something like this, right? Something like this. We hold this level here. We close above this level. We play the long all the way back up to this level. Okay. I mean, you could potentially play the long here off this zone over here, but I would wait for price to close above this level here on the 5 minute time frame. So I would wait for 23.82. If we can close above that level, that would be amazing. And then potentially look for longs back up to this zone over here. Okay. It's not even that. It's quite a small move here, but I think that this could be quite a nice little scalp for AVAX. Looks super juicy. Okay, so that's something I'm looking at for AVAX. We're going to put an alert there because we will be taking this hopefully today or tomorrow. We'll see what happens. All right, we'll see what happens. Oh, we're almost on 30 likes. Amazing, guys. I appreciate every one of you guys for liking the stream here. That's amazing. All right, so we're gonna chat about Bitcoin dominance quickly because this is something that we have to go over. So first things first with Bitcoin dominance. Let's have a look at the weekly. So the weekly time frame, guys, it's bearish. Bitcoin dominance is bearish right now. I know it's tricky to be like, but then why is the altcoin market dumping? There's a lot of questions that you guys are probably asking yourself. This is bearish though. We closed below support. We did close below this trend line that has been holding up for almost since 2022, right? 14th of November to December 2022. We finally closed below this level. So, like I said, I still think that altcoins can run, which is why we are looking to play the longs off these support zones, right? There is a potential for that to happen. So with Bitcoin dominance, let's have a look at the daily time frame quickly. It is bouncing a little bit, but nothing too crazy. There is a potential for us to just get a bit of a retracement here, back up to like these levels. Let's have a look here. There's a potential for us to get a bit of a push back up to this level here, right over here, and then we can potentially play the short off this zone. Sorry, I'm not play the short because it's Bitcoin dominance, but in terms of altcoins, this is when we should see the reset of the altcoins. Okay. So what I mean by that is once Bitcoin dominance hits this level, we should see altcoins bounce. And this is where we would ideally want to play the longs. So that's what I'm saying. I still think that there's a little bit more bleed within the altcoins today, which is why I'm not really going to take longs until we get confirmation on our levels. Okay. So I still think Bitcoin dominance is bearish. We did break lows. The structure is bearish. I still think that we retest here. We come up a little bit, and then we look for the longs for the altcoins. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting to see that as well. So, beautiful stuff. All right. What else we got? I'll go over one more chart. But yeah, we've gone over quite a lot here today. If you guys did miss the beginning, we've got quite a lot of setups that are planned throughout today. Bitcoin is still holding this level, right? Let's have a look over here. So this is the idea for Bitcoin. Bitcoin, like I said with Bitcoin earlier, we are still holding this bullish fair value gap, right? So 116K is definitely going to be the level that we have to take out, right? We have to take out this level here. On the 15, right? I just can't take the long right now. Although we are holding this as support, it's just for now, we would have to see price close above that level. And if we have a look at the book map over here, let's have a look and see what's happening. Let's have a look and see what's happening here. So we have some orders sitting at like 114,500. 114 is quite a strong level. We have 113,800. And then obviously that 112,500 level, right? So there's a lot of orders to the downside as well, guys. So this is why I'm like, we can't play longs right now. There's a lot of liquidity below us, guys. I think the markets need resets. It's a Monday. Remember, Monday is normally a fake move, right? So don't stress about this. Remember, whenever it bleeds, this is when we should be looking to buy, right? Regardless if we bleed about 10 or 20%, we should still look to play some setups, because the thing is, when we do take out this liquidity, what potentially could happen is we could have massive orders sitting at these zones, and then price just pushes higher off these levels, right? But the thing is, I'm one of those traders where I'll only take a long or a short if I get the confirmation that the price closes above or below my levels, right? I'm not going to take a long here for Bitcoin just because, okay, it looks nice, and we're holding this bullish fair value gap, and we're also holding this trend line. But this trend line it's kind of invalidated right now, right? Because of the fact that it's already played out. The setup off the trend line already played out last week. So this is not a setup for Bitcoin right now. The only setup that we can play for Bitcoin right now is that long off this 116.078 level, right? Personally, there's other traders out there that maybe would long this level, but personally, I would never long this level, especially when the market's not looking good right now. Okay, does that make sense? Others charts. We can look at others. Let's have a look at others. I haven't looked at others in a minute, though. Alright, let's have a look at others. So first things first with others is, obviously we had that massive breakout over here. So guys, if you are unsure what others is, others chart is it shows you the crypto market cap excluding the top 10. Okay, so it's more of like it's more just the low cap altcoins in a way, right? So essentially what you want to see here is you want to see breakouts, you want to see support being held in order for your low cap altcoins to move, right? And the problem is right now we're still getting rejected. Of course it's looking quite good, but it's not looking that amazing. The reason why I say that is because we have this level right over here. I'll draw it in for you. Did we close above it? I don't think we did, which is why we're getting rejected. Let's have a look. Have a look at that, right? So this level here was the key level that if we extend this to the left hand side here, right? Remember, it's always look from left, from right to left, and you can see that, guys, this level is a key level. This was the key level that pushed the altcoins to that massive high of 430 billion in 2024, right? And then obviously we lost that level, and now we are facing the consequences by getting a rejection from the zone, right? So with that said, others, let's have a look at the lower time frames, because obviously we do know that this is the clear level that we need to see price obviously take out in order for altcoins to make those new highs, right? And this is why I'm just a little bit skeptical looking for longs right now and taking longs off these levels, because this is not looking good as well. If we go down to the 4 hour time frame, this is looking like a classic head and shoulders pattern. I'll be honest with you. I don't really trade patterns like head and shoulders, but this is looking seriously like a head and shoulders pattern, which is a bearish pattern, by the way. So essentially we have this left shoulder over here, we have this head over here, and then we have a right shoulder. And essentially what happens, we should get a breakdown over here, and then the target would be lows, right? The target could also just be from this high over here to this level, which in turn would be around about here. Okay, I don't know, guys. I'll be honest with you, nothing's looking really that good in terms of the market right now. It looks like, if others breaks the support, we are cooked. Oh wait, I'll show you. My chart just froze. Right over here. So this is what I'm looking at. So what I was saying is this head and shoulders pattern is likely to play out, but it's not guaranteed, right? So essentially a head and shoulders is when we have pretty much two equal highs over here to here, and then we have, you know, a high above these levels, right? And it looks like a head and shoulders basically, okay? But essentially with the head and shoulders, there is a potential for price to take out this low over here and then just absolutely get rinsed, right? So this is why I'm skeptical, because I mean, just looking at this chart right now, it's looking like we should come down today, maybe reset throughout this week as well. This could be bad. This could be bad, guys. But alternatively, if price holds this level, cool, then we're okay, right? We need to see price hold this level, otherwise it's gonna be a bloody week. It's gonna be not a good week in terms of crypto. But we will be able to take advantage if we're looking for shorts. But in terms of like spot bags, you know, it's not going to look great if we take out this low. So yeah, that's my thoughts on others. Ondo and Aave. Oh yeah, Rune. We didn't look at Rune. Exactly. For SWI as well. That's what we were speaking about earlier, right? So for SWI, does have that similar, right? And it's already broken. So the buy zone is going to be over here. And I think that's when we reset, right? I think what's going to happen is with SWI, we come down, and then same thing with others, right? Where's the others chart? It's just gone. But it's gonna do the exact same thing, where potentially it takes out the support, and then we come down to like 262, 263. And then that's when we can potentially play the long. So I don't even think we're going to get longs today, guys. I don't know. I'm just very neutral when I come to the charts. Like I said, I'm not bullish or bearish, but right now it's looking more bearish than bullish. If you can tell me otherwise, cool. But I don't want to take longs. Like, why would you take a long? Like, think about it. Why would you take a long for Ethereum here? You're taking a long in the mid-range. It just makes zero sense. I would want to take a long rather at support, potentially get stopped out over here, than, you know, over here, right? Because this doesn't make sense. But the best setup here for Ethereum would actually play along at 3,900, and that does correlate with others dumping super hard, right? Because if others were to dump super hard, although it is the top excluding the top 10 cryptos, but it's still everything's kind of correlated, right? So if this were to reset, Ethereum's going to reset, everything else is going to reset, right? There is a potential that we can play the short here as well for Ethereum if we do get a retest of this level. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But we're going to go over like 2 more charts, and I'm going to jump off here, guys. But let's have a look at Rune. Let's have a look at Rune. Jeez, I mean, Rune just looking terrible. So obviously, this is the level for Rune. Same thing with Rune. It just wants to reset as well. It just wants to reset, guys. Everything just wants to reset. Here we go. I mean, this is beautiful. This is something that we can play at. This is why I like it when you guys comment some tokens, because whenever you guys comment the tokens, it actually makes me look at a lot more coins, which is amazing, right? And that's also good for the community, because then we get more setups, okay? Because remember last week, someone asked me to go over Pump. I don't normally look at Pump. And then someone told me to look at Pump, and then we made quite a lot of money off Pump last week. So it's good that you guys are giving me tokens to go over so we can capitalize on these setups, guys. And that's why it's actually, the nice thing about a trading community is, you know, we're all helping each other as well, right? You know, you guys are helping me look at some setups. You know, you're giving good advice as well. So it's amazing that we've got some good traders within the community as well. So basically, what I want to look at here is it's super simple, right? This is the clear level here, guys. It's a beautiful, beautiful zone. Let's have a look over here. So we've got this level right over here, bang, 1.234, beautiful zone. This is going to be the play. We have liquidity sitting up over here, and then we have liquidity sitting over here. But this is the reset, right? We reset over here, bang, we look for longs. You can even just wait for the trend line break, but personally, I'd probably just jump in. Over here. But yeah, this is super, super nice. I'm liking the look at Rune. I do liking the look at Rune. So we're gonna put an alert here just in case we miss it. But yeah, guys, market wants to reset you, guys. I'll be honest with you. So just be careful. Just be careful. Don't go long too early. Right. But yeah, I think I'm gonna jump off. I appreciate everyone for joining. It's been quite a long live. It's been an hour and a bit. Not too bad, but make sure you guys do join the community. The links are in the description. We're gonna potentially take some trades today if we do get the resets today. But remember, guys, market right now is kind of bearish, right? So what you want to do is you just want to wait in patience. I will keep you up to date within the altcoin analysis. So like I said here, even for Litecoin, right, I'm waiting for a reset as well, right? Ethereum, we're waiting for this. So I will keep you up to date on like what I'm doing. And it would all be in this. And then once I post like a setup, it will be in the easy setups category, okay? And then that is when we take advantage of the trades, okay? But the altcoin analysis is where I post like the daily, like what we're looking at for the day. All right, appreciate you guys for joining. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. And yeah, hope you guys have a good day. It is a Monday. What is the weather like? The weather is absolutely terrible today. Bit of mist, but we're still going to make money, so it's all good. Appreciate you guys. Bye-bye.